As a little boy, you taught me to never give up. As an athlete, at Barnes High School, you taught me to have good work ethics. After college, you taught me the value of serving others. For 34 years, I did everything I could to thank you. I am Reggie Burgess. Thank you, North Charleston, for making me the man that I am. As mayor, I will never stop working for you. Vote Reggie Burgess for mayor on November 7th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Reggie Burgess for mayor.
John Tecklenburg is good at playing piano, but not at being mayor. He was MIA during the King Street riots, and flooding, traffic, and costs are all out of control on his watch. This is Clay Middleton, Citadel grad, awarded the Bronze Star in combat, and served under President Obama. As mayor, he'll fix flooding, shorten commutes, and provide more affordable housing. Clay Middleton, horrible at piano, good at getting stuff done.
Under the leadership of Mayor Tecklenburg and my husband Luther Reynolds and the Charleston Police Department men and women, we live in an incredibly safe city.
Neighborhood policing, cutting-edge forensics, the best paid and trained police force, and some of the lowest crime rates in the entire state.
If my husband was here today, here's what he'd tell you. You're not going to find a better man to run this city, to accomplish what he's accomplished, and to continue with the projects he's been doing than Mayor John Tecklenburg.
It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's showtime. Give yourselves a hand. Thank you, Mr. Announcer Guy. It is time for the Geno Jones Show. As you can see the sign in the background, I'm coming to you live. My normal start times and days are Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, where my baby girl had a momentous occasion today. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast, where my firstborn daughter, Lauren Shiana Hill Vaughn, is the queen, the all-time ultimate queen of Halloween costumes. Subscribe, share, screen grab, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. It's a bad hair day, because I didn't get a chance to check out my barber because he had a official grand opening of a new location. Shout out, they should be watching it in the new shop salon. It's called Designer Cuts, and the CEO of Designer Cuts, the official barber and hairstylist. I was like, damn, I'm sure he's like, damn, G, today of all days, we watching you live in the shop, and you got a damn cap on your head. That's because I couldn't get in, so it's not his fault. Markel Bailey, shout out to Markel. Congratulations, man. We are so proud of you. He's just a great brother, just really community oriented, and the ultimate. He is a hair master, not just a master barber. He can do it all. And he is the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Hair maintenance, whatever you need. If it's got anything to do with hair, Markel is your dude there. So shout out to Markel and Designer Cuts. It's in the Charleston, South Carolina metro area. To be specific, Goose Creek, South Carolina, which is just north of downtown Charleston, just north of the airport. You could find them on Instagram, KELBECUTTINUP. Kel be cutting up, because Kel really be cutting his ass up. So I need to start off the show today. I'm going to start off doing birthdays because today is a very special birthday. It's mixed emotions. I've been in a really kind of weird mood. I've been like happy, and there's a level of joy and happiness, unadulterated joy, but a little melancholy and sad. But anyway, so let me start off. Happy birthday to Cornell Haynes Jr. You're saying, okay, who is Cornell? Is that the dude who's got the details cars, down there in the hood? No, not that Cornell. This is a different Cornell. Cornell Hayes Jr. I'll give you a clue. Him and Ashanti, they a boo thing again. Nelly, Mr. Country Grammar himself, Mr. Everybody. Nelly is 49 today. All right, Nelly, about to turn the big nickel. Stevie J, producer, DJ and producer, Stevie J had a bunch of hits. Just Google Stevie, like in the 90s, and he was working with Diddy and doing some stuff with Bad Boy. And then, of course, now he's the reality TV personality. Stevie J, 52 today. Happy birthday, Stevie J, and a very special happy birthday. Now, I got a lot, I've got the whole world watching me live, and everybody that's watching me who couldn't see it live is going to watch the show when they can binge watch it. So I'm not going to break down. I'm not going to break down and cry. It's tears of joy. But happy birthday to Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show, aka she is my drip director, and she is my baby girl. She is my youngest daughter. I'm a girl dad ×2. You've heard me talking about Boogie, Lauren, who is the ultimate Halloween costume, the queen of Halloween costumes. You heard me talk about her yesterday. And today, 22 years ago, I remember a nurse handing me a beautiful baby girl. And there's a story behind that, because I thought I was going to have to, I don't condone violence, but I almost snapped on somebody. Well, not now, maybe later. Happy birthday to Alexandria Nicole Jones, who is spending a surprise birthday. Her mom, shout out to the queen, the ultimate queen, Miss Damaris Jones. So she surprised her baby girl. And so they are spending some time together and having dinner, and going to go to maybe do a jazz club or whatever, who knows. Allie may have her mama out at the club. She might have her mama out at the club, just getting a party on with whoever her favorite artist is right now. So happy birthday, baby girl. Man, there are not enough words in the human vocabulary to tell you how much I love you, how I am just beyond proud of you. You are a superstar. You are a superhero. And you have made me such a better man. And I thank God every day for giving me a daughter like you and your sister, and then your mom, and then your grandma. I don't know, man, it's like winning that damn near $2 billion Powerball 4 times. It's like, God, what did I do to deserve this? But I ain't complaining. Thank you, Lord. Happy birthday, baby girl. You are the best of me. You and Boogie are the best of who I am. And you all have made me a better man, and I am just beyond proud of you. And love is really, the word love doesn't do it any justice. You know how your daddy is, and I know you're probably like, all right, Dad, say less. But it's my show, so I'm going to say more. Because I don't mind bragging on you. I understand how now your grandma is with me, so now I'm like that with you. And Boogie. Absolutely. So, happy birthday, baby girl. I'm proud of you. Just continue to being the best version of yourself, because you've already achieved greatness at a young age. You were achieving levels of greatness when you were 13 and 14. And you were so far ahead of where I was at 21, 22, or correction, 22. I'm 22 today, Dad. I'm deuces. She's double deuces. 22. Double deuces, baby girl. I love you. Have fun. I know your hair's going to look wonderful. You get your braids and everything, so, all right. Okay, I'll move on. All right, let me move on. So, I got some, I'm a fan. I love comedy. I do stand up myself. Now, we had the kings of comedy. We had the queens of comedy. Now, we are going to get, sometime soon, don't have an exact date, the Kims of comedy. So shout out to Kim Coles, Kim Fields, who I didn't know did stand up, Kim Wayans, who is just funny as all get out, and Kim Whitley, my girl. They all are funny as, like I said, I didn't know Kim Fields did stand up, but I know Kim Coles. I remember Kim Coles on In Living Color. I've seen her stand up. Of course, I've seen Kim Wayans. That whole family's funny. If they had, I think at one time they used to live in the projects. I bet the cockroaches in the house, if they had roaches and the rats, I bet the roaches and the rats had jokes. That's how funny that family is. Everybody, like the birthday boy Nelly, not everybody, everybody in that family is funny. So Kim Wayans, Kim Whitley, Kim Fields, and Kim Cole. The Kims of comedy. So they were in Wilmington, Delaware, and did a show, and it was like the kings and queens of comedy. The lines were going around the building they were in. So then they asked the question, what city should they go to next? Well, come to Charleston, South Carolina for damn sure. Definitely got to go to Chicago for damn sure. You got to go to Atlanta. I know you got to go to New York. I'm sure folks in Philly watching say you got to stop there in the 215. Detroit City, 313-248. Of course, L.A., where they live all in L.A. So that's home. I could go on and on and on. So congratulations. I can't wait. Once they get like the tour date set up, so y'all need to hit them up on social media, I guess on Instagram or Threads or TikTok, Snapchat, right here on YouTube, whatever. So y'all need to, I want to see the Kims of comedy. Y'all need to get them dates so we can get them tickets. So I just want to say that. All right. Let me make a hard pivot here. There's been so much talk about what's happening in the, people call like that area, Israel, and the Gaza Strip, which is just like a little piece of land just southwest of the state of Israel. And on the other side of the state of Israel, on the east side, we got the Gaza Strip, and that name will come to me on the east side, the West Bank. There you go. It's called the West Bank, which is weird because it's not on the west side of Israel. That had confused me for a long time. I'm like, why do they call it the West Bank? Now I'm sure there's somebody that's geopolitics and understands that region that it's referred to, really misreferred to or mislabeled as the Middle East, because actually what is now officially observed as the state of Israel, which actually happened in 1948. The United Nations voted on it in like 1947, and in 1948, what you see now on a map that says Israel, the state of Israel, didn't come into existence. Now there are folks that will tell you like 2,000 years ago, whatever, thousands, it was called Israel, then it was called Palestine and the Ottoman Empire. Oh, I'm not going to give you history lessons like that. But what we know today as the State of Israel officially came into existence in 1948, and the United Nations voted on it. Basically, that piece of land that was Palestine up until 1947 was colonized by Great Britain. So Great Britain and the United States, they were the two main powers. Like they kind of, well, not so much now, because really it's more like the United States and China economically, and then India, Great Britain or the United Kingdom. They're still somewhat of a great power. But anyway, I digress. All right, so Great Britain had colonized the land that the state of Israel is on now, and said we can use, basically, it said we need to create a home for the ancestors, the European Jews that were displaced out of Eastern Europe and Germany after what happened in the 30s with Hitler and the Holocaust. So the United Nations got together, they voted, and there were two pieces of land that Great Britain had colonized, the Great British Empire, where they colonized everywhere, all Africa, all over. Yeah, they created Australia, just stole that land like they did everything else, or they called it, they colonized it. So anyway, what's now known as the State of Israel almost was not there. There were two choices that basically the United Nations, they kind of got together and made a decision. That's something where people could sit around in a room and go, well, we're going to create a state, a whole new state for a whole race of people. Okay, so we colonized this one little piece here that's called Palestine. But you know, we also colonized this place that's on the continent of Africa called Uganda. So the state of Israel almost became the state of Israel really on the continent of Africa where Uganda is. Even though the state of Israel, actually, if you look at a map, it is actually northeast Africa. It's still connected to the continent of Africa. But I digress. And, you know, I was reading and just kind of preparing for the show, and there's been a lot of talk. And so Bernice King, Dr. King's daughter, I guess I had a conversation with this comedian, Amy Schumer. You've seen it. Actually, her uncle is Senator Schumer, who has been a senator, Democratic senator from New York. So anyway, Amy Schumer was talking about Dr. King and how he supported Israel. And he absolutely did. And so Bernice King said, listen, yes, my dad, Dr. King, was absolutely against anti-Semitism. Absolutely. And if you're not, you're just a flat-out racist, point blank. But so Bernice King went on to say that her dad also believed that militarism, like all these wars, and like what's kind of happening now, racism and poverty were what he called the triple evils. And then Bernice King also went on to say that he would call for this current Israeli government, not the people of Israel. See, I need to try to explain this to you, and I'm going to make it real simple. Just like kind of over here. Just think about, I'm going to give you a real quick analogy. Just think about when Orange Jumpsuit Hitler was president, and all the low-down dirty shit he was doing, putting folks in cages and releasing and sending like federal law enforcement agency dudes that was dressed in all black that didn't have any kind of identification to go to Portland and to beat up people that were protesting against police brutality after what happened with George Floyd. Oh yeah, you can find that video. He was releasing his version of what they called in Nazi Germany in the 30s, the brown shirts, and Hitler got that idea from Mussolini at the beginning of the 1900s in Italy, who was a dictator who released what he called the black shirts. They were like, just think of all these white nationalist, racist white militias, right-wing, the guys that had on the tiki torches that was marching the University of Virginia with these torches with their little punk ass, my Jews will not replace us. It's like, we doing that. And then actually one of them killed this young Jewish woman, Heather Heyer, and almost killed this black dude and some other folks. So that's what they were. So she said my dad would be against all of this. He would be against wars. He would ask Mr. Netanyahu, who is an absolute white nationalist. He is Israel's version of Orange Jumpsuit Hitler. Absolutely, full stop. Period. Unabashed white nationalist. Him and your boy Orange Jumpsuit Hitler was just like that. And if you don't believe me, they got newspapers like Haaretz in Israel, the Jerusalem Post. 3/4, they have done polls, the Haaretz newspaper, Jerusalem Post. 3/4 of the Israelis do not want Bibi or Benjamin Netanyahu as their prime minister. They want his ass out before what happened on October 7th. Every weekend in Israel, in all your cities, in Tel Aviv and all these other cities, there were like 100,000 people plus protesting Bibi Netanyahu trying to take over the courts and basically become a dictator. Who does that sound like? Oh, yeah, that dude, the orange dude, wanted to be a dictator and take over everything and shred the Constitution and said, oh, if he come back, he's coming back for revenge. Y'all hadn't seen nothing yet. So Dr. King would be against all of that. He would call for the government of Israel. That you have to separate this current white nationalist government of Israel, like we had white nationalists in the White House as the president and the people around him, like you had a white nationalist in Russia, because they all have the same worldview, Putin, all of them, and they've been very open about it. The president of Turkey, Mr. Erdogan, all subscribe, all this. Well, he's already a dictator. Putin, straight up dictator. Benjamin Netanyahu was trying to be a dictator until you even had people in the military who had been serving for years. It was like, look, they would literally, I'm taking the uniform off. If you make this move and if you take control of the courts in Israel, then we don't have a democracy. And I wear this uniform because I believe in democracy. And they were fighting for their country to maintain a democracy, not a dictatorship, because people in Israel understand that dictatorship thing didn't work out so well for their ancestors. But this dude was on that kick anyway. So Dr. King, he would condemn Hamas and any kind of all these terrorists killing innocent people. He would absolutely condemn Hamas, who are not helping the Palestinian people and only got in power because nobody else in the Middle East would help them. And the other Palestinians that could help them was on the other side of Israel. That's in the West Bank and the Palestinian Authority. And Netanyahu, basically, he was pitting one group of Palestinians against the other, because what they won't tell you, unless you had to really, really do your homework and look around, Netanyahu was cool with Hamas before October 7th. He had talked with them, and I think they supported him financially. I know he was like, basically, let's get cool with Hamas and tell them that they got to worry about the other Palestinians on the other side of Israel, on the West Bank, the Palestinian Authority. Who does that sound like? Pitting folks against each other that look like each other? That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Black folks in America. You're making, colorism. Oh, the light-skinned ones. Tell the light ones they're better than the dark-skinned ones. And tell the dark-skinned ones they better, that the light-skinned ones don't like y'all. Pitting the same group of people against each other, finding a way to create a wedge. So Netanyahu was doing that. Before October 7th, then it all changed. So he was cool with his enemy until his enemy turned on him, because he was trying to get his enemy to turn on, actually, their brothers. Even though these Israelis and Palestinians are virtually first cousins. That's a whole different, because that's a whole biblical story, Abraham and the two sons. So that was a different episode. Y'all had to go back and binge watch. So Dr. King would ask for true and total peace. Dr. King basically was assassinated because he spoke out against the Vietnam War, and because he was uniting poor and working class black people, poor and working class, they call it Appalachian white people, and Hispanic people, and the folks in power who use fear, ignorance, and racism to make billions and trillions of dollars, because fear and hate is big business. Think about who is benefiting now, because I'm watching and I'm seeing stories. You got Israeli Americans fearing for their life, buying guns, going to all these gun stores at record numbers. But then you have Muslim Americans fearing for their life. We've had similar things with black folks. We had incidents happen, where black people were being murdered. For a while, like the number one purchaser of new firearms were black women. And black women are probably still near the top of that list. So who's making money from fear and division and stoking hatred and wanting to have wars? Who's making money off of all these bombs and weapons and rockets? that's being sold. Somebody's making a whole lot of money. And they want to keep making money because peace is not profitable to these folks in power. Now, I know I'm saying some heavy, deep stuff, but that's real talk. But the sad part is, because and I saw the dude, supposedly the head of Hamas was on TV, on cable TV, talking about, well, you know, we want to destroy Israel. They shouldn't. It's like, dude, really? But he wasn't nowhere near Israel. He's in one of these other Middle East countries. I don't know if he was in Qatar or Qatar or whatever. You're not helping these Palestinian people. You basically, not only were they living in a state of apartheid by the Israeli government to where they couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't leave out of the Gaza Strip. They couldn't go anywhere literally. They couldn't even, they got like a sea right there on the coast of the Gaza Strip. They had to get permission to even go to the beach damn near. But Hamas wasn't helping them with that. So Hamas is just making this. These Hamas leaders like him, he's sitting, his ass is up on TV talking about what he wants to do to Israel, and thousands of Palestinian babies and women and children are being murdered. And you triggered that. The leader of Hamas, you triggered that by slaughtering these innocent Israeli kids at concerts and elderly people in their homes. And now, the white nationalist, Bibi Netanyahu, with one of the most sophisticated and well-funded and well-armed militaries on the planet that America underwrites, just got 3 agencies. They got Shin Bet or Shabak. That is like Israel's internal security branch of the government. So think of Shin Bet like Homeland Security or the NSA, national here in America. Then they got Mossad. Mossad is basically Israel's version of the CIA. And then they got something called Amman, which is like the military intelligence. So you got all of that going on. And their reputation for years, for decades, one of the most sophisticated, one of the best intelligence agencies and militaries on the planet. And you know what happened on October 7th? Because there was so much division. Boy, does that sound familiar? So much division in Israel between the people, like the 3/4 of Israelis that ain't messing with the current prime minister. Who did that sound like before 2020? Who he's super tight with. Then facing 91, he didn't call it 91 charges, 91 counts. So you've got these 2 leaders that are fueling hate. And this is a lot. It did not start on October 7th. This has gone on for decades. I can make an argument this has really gone on for centuries from a biblical standpoint. But it's absolutely been going on since 1947, 48, because you had a group of people, the Palestinians, that were living on that land, that literally were kicked off the land. This is the state of Israel, and these displaced European Jews, the ancestors of victims of the Holocaust, this is their home now. And there's been conflict and friction because they both believe by their God that this land is divine. I'm not even going to try to explain that to you. But you've got leaders, instead of fostering peace, are fostering hate and war. In the meantime, the young people, the young Israelis and Palestinians have been getting together trying to say, look, these wars, we're tired of them. We don't want to live like this anymore. Y'all old ass is going to be dead soon anyway. That we want to live in peace. Because we really are related, literally, by blood. They're like literally Israelis and Palestinians like first cousins. I could show you a group picture, and I guarantee you, because I've done it to myself, I can show you a group picture of some Israelis and Palestinians, and you wouldn't be able to say who's Israeli or who's Palestinian, because they look like they are all brothers, sisters, or first cousins. Then you got folks in Israel, cities like Jericho, that look like me, that from Ethiopia or other parts of the African continent. That's a whole nother show. And then what's happening is that here in America, the Jewish brothers and sisters, some that I went to school with, some that I work with, are being targeted, which is crazy. And people are, they see what's happening, they see what Netanyahu is doing, and they want to project that on just people, Israelis, Jews here in America. And I've seen so many, there were 500 Jewish Americans that went to the U.S. Capitol saying, look, we are Jewish, we either have dual citizenship or family there. We're not for this. I've seen people in Israel say, look, dude, yes, fine Hamas, but you can find another way to do this. You got this most sophisticated military. Target these folks. You've done it before. You've got Shin Bet, Mossad, and Ahmad. So you've got the agencies with the experience. Y'all know when you want to target somebody, y'all know how to do it, just like America does. That's why we got the CIA and the NSA. Come on. We're going to just keep it 1,000. And then you've got Muslim Americans, you got Palestinian Americans that's receiving hate. You've got Israeli Americans, Jewish Americans that's receiving hate. That don't have anything to do with this madness. You got 3/4 of the people in Israel. Just Google Haaretz. It's like one of the main newspapers in Israel. Haaretz. I think it ends with a Z. Google it. Jerusalem Post. You can find it. You can find a video. Protests in Tel Aviv. Protesting Benjamin Netanyahu taking over the courts. So you don't have to take my word for it. And this was happening every week. Over 100,000 people. So at the end of the day, I guess I'm just closing this by, I love what Dr. King said, all right? In the bombing, in the murder, in the targeting innocent people, Palestinians, Israelis, Ukraine, in America, wherever it's happening, end it. End the militarism, end the racism, end the poverty. And that's why voting is so important. Because the people, I'm going to leave you with this, because I told you about Project 2025. Google that. I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to beat this. I'm going to beat this like Mike Tyson beat Michael Spinks in his prime way back in the day. Project 2025 it is a 1,000-page blueprint. This MAGA movement, this MAGA white Christian nationalist movement that wants to take over every branch of city, county, state, and federal government to oppress black and brown folks. They don't like Jews. Now, they claim they do, but they really don't. All the white nationalists do not trust me. All these right-wing white militias and the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys, they hate black folks, they hate Jews, they hate gays, they hate the whole LGBTQ community. They hate Muslims, they hate women. Basically, if you're not a white Christian male, a white, straight Christian male, they ain't got no love for you. Let me say this, because I know I've heard a lot like, well, I can't vote for Joe Biden because he's supporting Israel. Listen, please understand this. And some people, there's some principle to it. I heard a woman on the radio today from New Jersey, and after the Newark riots, the law enforcement there murdered her mother She had 11 kids, and they lied on her mother, said her mother was a sniper. They didn't have a gun in the house. She had 11 kids. And she said she just couldn't support anybody that would support murdering innocent people. But let me just say this. Please, hear what I'm saying and spread the word, which I have to understand. Because it's not about liking a person. You got to understand the people who want to replace that person. The people and the powers that want to exploit you and oppress you, they will always vote. They always have, and they always will. I'm going to repeat that again. The people that want to exploit, oppress, and destroy you. Yes, the people that want to oppress, exploit, and destroy you will always vote. And those same people who want to destroy and oppress and exploit you, those people will always do anything they can to keep you from voting and to make you think that your vote won't count. So just think about that. Game recognized game. When you see game, you know what game is. People tell you one thing, but they're doing something else. They want to manipulate your mind and play mind games. Now they call it gaslighting. Just understand. So when you don't vote, the people literally that want to destroy you and destroy your family and your kids and grandkids and great-grandkids not even born yet, those same people and those same powers that want to destroy you and everybody and everything you love and that want to exploit, think about slavery, and oppress you, those same people and those same powers are always going to vote. So if they are always going to vote, the people that want to exploit and oppress you and destroy you, then why wouldn't you vote for your freedom and to prevent that from happening? I'm going to sit there right there, and I believe you with that. Thank you for watching, everybody. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Subscribe, share, screen grab, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. If you missed some of this episode, go back and watch it. You got some great stuff here. Chop it up, send it out, create viral moments. I'm just praying for peace. I always, usually when I close the show, I pray for peace. I pray for peace. This is a beautiful, beautiful. We are so lucky as humans. And damn it, dumbasses. I'm speaking to those, the powers that be, the selfish, greedy, evil, ignorant, or just folks that just don't have a soul or humanity, that would use fear and ignorance and hatred in all of its forms and sexism and misogyny to make profit, to make billions, and then to oppress other people and to suppress their wages. Man, at the end of the day, we are all part of really one race, the human race. And life and Mother Nature has a way of reminding us that, you know, y'all may, with all your technology and your artificial intelligence, there's some powers and forces that's bigger than y'all that can sweep down with all kind of natural disasters and can't do a damn thing. With all your money and your billionaires, you can go to the doctor one day and be healthy, and the next day get a call and test results come back and they'll tell you you got 6 weeks to live. And with all your billions, you can't find a cure. So tomorrow's not promised to none of us, and life is too short to live hating and wanting to destroy you, because hatred, it literally is like a cancer. Hatred and evil, it will eat you out. It will eat you from the inside out. And the same energy that you send out into the universe will always find its way back home to where it came from you. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you Friday, live 6:30.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.
As a little boy, you taught me to never give up. As an athlete, at Barnsley High School, you taught me to have good work ethics. After college, you taught me the value of serving others. For 34 years, I did everything I could to thank you. I am Reggie Burgess. Thank you, North Charleston, for making me the man that I am. As mayor, I will never stop working for you. Vote Reggie Burgess for mayor on November 7th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Reggie Burgess for mayor.
Under the leadership of Mayor Tecklenburg and my husband Luther Reynolds and the Charleston Police Department men and women, we live in an incredibly safe city.
Neighborhood policing, cutting-edge forensics, the best paid and trained police force, and some of the lowest crime rates in the entire state.
If my husband was here today, here's what he'd tell you. You're not going to find a better man to run this city, to accomplish what he's accomplished, and to continue with the projects he's been doing than Mayor John Tecklenburg.
John Tecklenburg is good at playing piano, but not at being mayor. He was MIA during the King Street riots, and flooding, traffic, and costs are all out of control on his watch. This is Clay Middleton, Citadel grad, awarded the Bronze Star in combat, and served under President Obama. As mayor, he'll fix flooding, shorten commutes, and provide more affordable housing. Clay Middleton, horrible at piano, good at getting stuff done.